Hi there, welcome to my PowerPoint on business law. This one is about paying our staff. You'll see that I have a few other videos on my YouTube channel on business law as well. These are aimed at helping particularly Btec students at level 3. You might also find this useful if you're doing a GCSE or an A-level. At the moment, the minimum wage rates in the UK are as shown on the screen there. And this is the minimum that an employer has to pay their employees. Doesn't mean they can't pay them more. And obviously, when we look at motivation and when we look at how we treat our staff in a bit more detail, we'll talk about how paying them more is sometimes a very good idea. But this is the minimum amount that people must be paid. And what you'll see as well is that younger people under 25, those rates are a little bit lower. We mentioned this briefly when we talked about equality. That younger people are assumed to perhaps be living with parents and perhaps not have so much needs. They may not have children of their own, and therefore it is assumed in this law that they need to earn less money. Right, the old saying goes that there's nothing more certain in this life than death and taxes. And I suppose in a way that's true, although it sounds a little bit negative, but we do all pay tax and we do all pay national insurance if we are working. Now, as an employer, what you need to know is that you will also be making contributions to your employees' income tax and national insurance payments. You cannot employ people, therefore, unless they have a national insurance number. That is basically their proof of their right to work in this country. And if you do start employing people without checking these things, you could find yourself in some very serious trouble and paying some pretty hefty fines. Also now, every single employer is required by law to offer a pension scheme for their employees. Now, the employee doesn't have to take that up, but we do have to offer it to them and pay a contribution, which of course the employee also pay into and the government pays into as well. As I said, they can opt out. They can also opt back in again at a later date, and you do have to give them the chance to do that. Holiday pay. As I make this, we're in lockdown. We're still all in our homes, not going out, and I don't know about you, but I've cancelled my holiday for this year due to the coronavirus. However, employees are entitled to their time off, whatever their circumstances, whether they're going away or not, they are entitled to those 5.6 weeks a year. That varies a little bit depending on the contract. And some, again, like we said with the wages, some employers will choose to give more. That can include some things like bank holidays and times when the company is not operating. As a teacher, for example, I have to take my holiday during school holidays, which is fair and sensible, isn't it? One thing to note that is quite interesting is with people who have what we call a 0-hour contract. They might work 30 hours one week, they might work 10 hours another week, and it's very variable. So what tends to happen is that their holiday pay is worked out on an average of how much they've worked over the last so many weeks. What some companies will also do is they'll actually pay that holiday pay along with the wages per hour, but that's not always necessarily a great option. So the main thing to take away here is that as an employer, you have to give your employees time off and you have to pay them for it. Sick pay. Again, we all hope we don't get ill, but it happens to everyone, and employees are legally entitled to pay while they're off sick. SSP is statutory sick pay, meaning that it's enshrined in law. It is £95.85 as I make this video, and that's payable for 28 weeks by you as the employer, if of course they are deemed to be full-time, if they're earning at least 120 a week originally. If they were earning less, then there's slightly different rules. You can ask the employee for a doctor's note after 7 days to prove that they are ill, and of course if you want to pay them higher sick pay than that, because you like your employees and you want to keep them, you can also do so. Okay, maternity or paternity pay. If a person is having a child, then they are allowed time off to have that child and to make sure that it's properly cared for. A woman is actually required to have at least 2 weeks off after she's had a baby. And in fact, that stretches to 4 weeks if she works in a factory. You'll see it says that on here as well. From an employer's point of view, you need to know that that woman could be off for up to a year, and you are required to pay her for at least most of that time. You'll see there's some details on the screen there about the actual requirements for this. For a father, again, he can claim parental leave after the birth instead of the mother if that is what they choose. Okay, so that's it for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, look at my Facebook page if you'd like to see some more of these short videos. I'll be doing the last one on business law next week, where we'll be looking at health and safety, and then we'll be moving on to some information on marketing and the marketing mix and how we promote and sell our products. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.